If you've ever felt lost, confused, or like you're just going through the motions without any real direction, this video is for you. Stick around because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share some eye-opening signs that you might be tuning out the most important voice of all and how to start hearing it again. Let's jump right in. First off, what does it even mean to hear God's voice? We're not talking about an audible boom from the sky like in the movies, though that would be cool. No, God's voice often comes through subtle ways. A nudge in your spirit, a scripture that pops into your mind at just the right time, wise counsel from a friend, or even circumstances aligning in unexpected ways. It's that still, small voice the Bible talks about in 1 Kings 19, where Elijah hears God not in the wind or earthquake, but in a gentle whisper. But here's the thing, life is noisy. Between social media notifications, work stress, family demands, and that endless to-do list, it's easy to drown out that whisper. So, are you missing it? Let's check out 5 telltale signs. Sign number 1, you're constantly anxious or worried. Philippians 4:6 tells us not to be anxious about anything, but to pray about everything. If worry is your default mode, it might be because you're not pausing to listen for God's peace that surpasses understanding. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence, without your phone, and just asked God for guidance? If anxiety is ruling your days, that's a red flag you're missing His reassuring voice. Sign number 2, your decisions feel aimless. Ever make a choice and then wonder, was that really the right path? Proverbs 3:5-6 says, to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, He'll direct your paths. But if you're relying solely on logic, pros and cons lists, or what everyone else is doing, you might be bypassing God's input. I remember a time when I was job hunting and ignored that inner pull toward a less glamorous opportunity. Turns out, that lesser job led to amazing connections and growth. Lesson learned, God's voice often points to the unexpected. Sign number 3, you're spiritually dry. If reading the Bible feels like a chore, prayer is rote, and church is just another event on your calendar, hello, dry season alert. Jesus said in John 10:27, my sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. When we're not hearing Him, our faith can feel stagnant, like a plant without water. Maybe you've been so busy serving or scrolling that you've forgotten to just be still and know that He is God, as Psalm 46:10 reminds us. Sign number 4, relationships are strained. God's voice isn't just about personal direction, it's about how we love others. If bitterness, unforgiveness, or constant conflict is plaguing your connections, you might be missing His call to humility and grace. Ephesians 4:2 urges us to be completely humble and gentle, patient, bearing with one another in love. Hearing God often softens our hearts and guides us toward reconciliation. Ask yourself, is there someone I need to reach out to today? And sign number 5, you're chasing the wrong things. Success, money, approval. These can become idols if we're not tuned in. Jeremiah 29:11 promises that God has plans to prosper us, not harm us. Plans for hope and a future. But if you're exhausted from pursuing worldly stuff that leaves you empty, it's time to realign. God's voice redirects us to what truly matters, eternal treasures like kindness, generosity, and faith. Okay, so if any of these hit home, don't worry, there's good news. You can start hearing God's voice today. Here's a simple 3-step plan to tune back in. Step 1, create space for silence. Set aside 10-15 minutes a day. No distractions. Find a quiet spot, breathe deep, and invite God to speak. Maybe journal your thoughts or read a psalm. Consistency is key. It's like training your ear to recognize a familiar song in a crowded room. Step 2, dive into His Word. The Bible is God's primary way of speaking to us. Start with something like the book of Proverbs for wisdom or the Gospels to hear Jesus' teachings. As you read, pray, God, what are you saying to me through this? Tools like Bible apps with daily devotionals can make it easier and more engaging. Step 3, seek community and confirmation. Talk to trusted friends or a mentor about what you're sensing. Sometimes God's voice comes through others. And remember, if it's truly from Him, it will align with Scripture, never contradict it. Friends, hearing God's voice isn't reserved for pastors or super spiritual people. It's for all of us who seek him. Jeremiah 33:3 says, "Call to me, and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." So if you've been missing that voice, today is the day to call out. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe for more faith-building content, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. What's one way you'll create space to listen to God this week? I'd love to hear from you.